Despite marathon overnight talks, the European Union leaders have suspended deliberations on who should next hold the bloc's key positions. And they say they will resume talks tomorrow instead.
Now, we want to cross over now to Ollie Barrett in Brussels to get all the details. Ollie, why the hold-up? What's behind the impasse?
Well, it's very, very complicated to reach agreement on the various top jobs that are going at the top of the European Union for all sorts of reasons. Some boils down to personalities. For example, the man being talked about as probably still the current favourite to be the next president of the European Commission, effectively the boss in terms of top jobs when it comes to the European Union, is Frans Timmermans. Now, he is a Dutch centre-left politician. There are centre-right politicians here in Brussels who don't believe they should be giving up that position that they have held previously. We've also seen European parliamentary elections recently which have created a more complicated picture at the European Parliament, which has a role in all of this. Leaders want gender parity as well in terms of the 4 top EU jobs that are going and that need to be filled. They want 2 of them to be men and 2 of them to be women. So that plays into the complications as well. Geographical balance is very much desired. And then when it comes back to that issue of personalities, again, for example, Frans Timmermans, who may well still get the top job, is fiercely opposed by some Eastern European countries like Poland because he's been involved in enforcing EU regulations on rule of law, and they feel he has been aggressive in doing so. So add all of those things together and you realise why, despite negotiating for a full night and into the next morning through breakfast towards lunch, they haven't been able to reach a deal.
So, Ollie, what happens now then? What will be done between now and tomorrow to finally get the names of these top positions confirmed?
Well, for many of the leaders and the diplomats, the first priority will be to get some sleep. There have been lots of officials here in Brussels saying that this is not the way you get the best deal, is by having all of your leaders incredibly tired. Many of them had just returned jet-lagged from the G20 in Japan, only to head into this all-night summit in Brussels. So there will be some rest involved, and then you will have some informal bilateral discussions going on behind the scenes, with leaders trying to work out whether they can come to compromise and reach an agreement on Tuesday. But this is embarrassing for the European Union. French President Emmanuel Macron says that the EU can't be taken seriously if it can't come to a deal like this. He talks about hidden agendas. He says the European Union will lack credibility in the eyes of the world as a result of repeatedly failing to be able to agree not just on the EU's top jobs but on other issues as well. So the credibility of the European Union is certainly on the line as they try and hammer out these positions.
All right, many thanks for helping us understand what's been happening. Ollie Barrett speaking to us from Brussels.